Hello everyone. In this video we will study about multiple alleles. Multiple means many, and alleles you already know that alternating form of a gene is known as allele. Till now, in all the examples which we have covered till now, we have always seen that allele, it usually existed in two forms. One was the dominant form and another was the recessive form. But here we will take in an example where more than two alleles will be there, and this is seen in the human blood. There are three alleles seen for the blood. These are IA, IB and IO. Remember, you have to follow the same terminology by which it has been explained. A has to be written in the superscript and O has to be written in the superscript. You cannot write them as IA. It will be marked as wrong. So in human beings, there are three alleles for the blood. By the combination of them, various blood groups arise. Now the combinations could be IA can combine with IA also. IA can combine with IO also. Similarly, IB can combine with IB. IB can also combine with IO. IO can also combine with IO, and IA can combine with IB. With these alleles, these are the possible combinations which I have written. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 combinations I have written. Now the combinations which are written here at the top, they may give rise to the blood group. So the combinations here, they will give rise to blood group A. The combinations which are written here, IBIB, IBIBO, it will give rise to blood group B. This is the combination that will give rise to blood group O, and this is the combination at the end. This will give rise to blood group AB. Now, out of all the combinations that are written here, the combinations like this, they are homozygous dominant. Out of all the alleles, allele IA, allele B, they are always signifying the dominant condition, whereas IO always defines the recessive condition. So with the same concept, we can say that IA is homozygous dominant, but IO is heterozygous dominant. Similarly, IB is homozygous dominant, IO is heterozygous dominant, IO is homozygous recessive, and here this one is a special case. Here IB both are coming together, means both the dominant alleles are coming together. So it will be given a special name, and that will be codominance. Means both the alleles, they will be equally expressing themselves, and it is seen in the people that have AB blood group in them, right? If a person has A blood group, then his genotype could be homozygous dominant, or he could be or she could be heterozygous dominant. If a person has blood group B, then the genotype could be homozygous dominant, or it could be heterozygous dominant. Remember, IO always defines the recessive condition. If a person has blood group O, the only possible genotype of that person could be IO. And if a person has blood group AB, then the only possible genotype will be IAIB. Now I have drawn a table for you wherein I have mentioned three columns. In the first column, blood group is there. In the second column, antigen is there. And in the third column, antibody is there. This is the structure of RBC. They are biconcave and enucleated, means they don't contain any nucleus. Now I have already told you that blood groups could be 4: A, B, AB and O. The blood group A would be a one on which A antigen will be there on the RBC. However, antibody will always be the opposite. So antibody will be there in the plasma and it will be anti-B. This is important, you should learn it. In case of blood group B, the blood group is B because B antigen is found on the surface of RBC. Here you can see that RBC, they contain an antigen on their surface. Depending upon the blood group, the antigen would be there. So in the case of B blood group, antibody will be anti-A. In the case of AB blood group, both the antigens will be found on the surface of RBC, but there will be no antibody in the plasma. However, in the case of O, there will be no antigen on the surface of RBC, but both antibodies will be found in the plasma. Now, whenever transfusions are done, first compatibility between the blood group is checked. Otherwise, clotting of blood may happen and it may be fatal for the individual if compatibility is not being done, right? So, for compatibility, one rule is followed, and that is the antigen should be exactly in match with the donor one, or there should be no antigen in the donor's blood. Means A can have blood with A individual, or that A blood group can have blood from O as well, right? Because O does not contain any antigen. But O cannot have blood from B or AB because they have different antigens in their blood. Same concept is applied to other blood groups as well. Like B can have blood from B as well and from O as well. AB can have blood from A as well because A antigen is there in them. B blood group can also donate blood to the AB one, and O can also donate blood to them. And that is why AB blood group individuals, they are known as universal recipients. Means they can take blood group from A, B, O blood group individuals. However, O remains the donor. O blood group individual, they remain the donor, means they can give to anyone. Recipient can take from anyone and donor can give to anyone because O is not having any antigen in its blood. So O can give to O, can give to A, can give to B and can give to AB. That's why O blood group individuals, they are known as universal donors. Here in this video, I have taken one problem for you. However, I would be taking many in the further videos. The question says if a male with a blood group O, that means the genotype of the male will be IOIO, marries a woman with blood group AB. AB means this will be the genotype of that woman. They are asking what would be the probability to get O blood group offspring. So in this case, if you will make the gametes, it will be IO only, and here the gametes will be dissimilar. Few will get allele IA and few will get allele IB. In F1 generation, this can combine with this, so this will result in IAIO. Remember, we need to keep always the rules in our mind that dominant allele has to be written first, followed with the recessive allele. IBIO. That means in F1 generation we have two possibilities, and that possibility says that 50% of the offsprings will be with blood group A and 50% of the offsprings will be born with blood group B. And in the question it is asking what is the probability to get with the O blood group. So there is no individual with the O blood group which we have seen in the F1 generation. So answer to this problem here will become 0 because there is 0 probability of getting the offspring with the O blood group. So answer is 0. The concept of multiple alleles is important with the examples. So we need to study multiple alleles carefully along with the examples. The concept gets elaborated when the male is given with the A blood group. And I have already explained that if the blood group given is A, then that individual could be homozygous dominant or heterozygous dominant. We have to take both the cases, right? So this I'll explain in my next video. Thank you everyone.